Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. The last show of the year for me, but not for you guys, but for me. The last show of 2021 is not only here, but it's short. Just 2 hours with you today. As we're kicking
You're
over
a braggart, man. You're a braggart.
You know, not only do I have to suffer through another 4-day weekend, but I have to do it and only work 2 hours today on the way out. It's rough to be me, Lonzo.
Not to mention where you're actually going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going footballing tomorrow. Then on Friday, Marcus King Band at the Peace Center downtown. Very excited about that. New Year's Eve on Friday night with the Marcus King Band. Saturday, Greenville Swamp Rabbits are going to be at home. I'll be at that game. Sunday, I'm just going to sleep and watch NFL football after the Carolina kickoff show from 2:30 to 3:30 live at Wings, etc. out in Boiling Springs. Then on Monday, we'll be back to real life, except for then Monday night, Lonzo and I and a handful of friends and fam are going to watch Monday Night Raw at the Well. My goodness, Lonzo, why is my life so difficult?
It is a difficult life. I do, and this is stereotyping here, but is Marcus King a country band?
Blues.
Oh, okay.
Blues band.
All right, I'm okay with it then.
Yeah, really excited about it.
I will allow it then.
I'll let you. I'll play a couple of. You've heard one or two of his songs before. You just don't know that you have. But I will. I'll play you one or two jams after the. I love good blues band. Love good blues. They're hard to find nowadays. They're hard to find.
Now, what kind of blues are we talking though? Are we talking Louisiana kind of blues?
He's from here. Marcus King's from here. Yeah.
Okay.
National touring big time recording artist, but he is from Greenville, South Carolina. His band is from around the Carolina, so it's kind of like a Carolina rockabilly blues band.
All right, Marcus, if you're listening, I apologize for not knowing who you are, but I will after the show.
Yeah, no, you absolutely will. I have not gotten the chance. My little brother seen Marcus King a number of times. In fact, when I texted him earlier, in fact, the lady friend writes me this morning and goes, "Hey, I got us tickets to go see the Marcus King band." And I said, "When?" She said, "New Year's Eve." I was like, "Oh, dope, let's go." Text the little brother. He's like, "I've seen him twice. You're going to love him. You're absolutely going to love him." Yeah, so you heard of Robert Randolph and the Family Band?
Actually, I have heard of them.
Love to hear it.
And I love them.
Robert Randolph and the Family Band. A couple of guys that are in Robert Randolph and the Family Band are also in the Marcus King Band. So they've got kind of a Louisiana crossover, but it's a lot of South Carolina rockabilly blues kind of stuff. Marcus King's phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. He's from right here in Greenville, South Carolina. And he'll be playing Friday evening at the Peace Center. And I will be there for that, which I'm super excited about, super pumped about. Busy day on the show today. But obviously, we would be remiss if we did not open up with a rest well to the absolute legend that is John Madden, passing away yesterday, 85 years of age. And John Madden no longer with us. You know, we were affected. I was out last night talking with a couple of friends when the breaking news came across the 4-letter that the legend that is John Madden was no longer with us. And, you know, some of the younger folks, and this, I've hit the point where I can start going, some of these younger kids, right? Some younger folks, I don't think really understand the impact that John Madden had on the world of football. The NFL, and I say this with quite a bit of weight, and no sarcasm at all. I don't think the NBA I don't think the NFL is the NFL without John Madden. At least not the way that we know it, right? John Madden was such a driving force, not just in turning the NFL into a juggernaut. John Madden was a driving force of making the NFL as well-known of a product as it is. John Madden was incredibly influential on the game itself. Not only was he a guy as a coach that kind of brought this mentality of, you know, you can smile and have a good time while you're playing football, but still be a tough football player. But when he got into the broadcast booth, John Madden became the perfect mix of Joe Everybody / football guru. John Madden was a dude. He was just a regular guy who also happened to be one of the brightest football minds of all time. When John Madden got in the booth and he went into John Madden mode, and you know what I'm talking about, boom, Right there. Boom. When he went into that mode, everybody got it. Everybody understood it. Everybody understood where he was coming from. But then he would also do stuff like every turducken conversation, where he introduced the world to turducken, the entree that your boy has been eating since childhood. But many of you were introduced to turducken.
Wait. You've had turducken before?
Like every year, bro. I'm from Southeast
Quit looking at me like that.
The only way my people down in Southeast Louisiana know to improve a meat, Lonzo, is to stuff another meat inside of it. We know what we're doing.
Okay.
I'll bring you a turducken. I'll get us a turducken. I can get a turducken.
You know what, man? It's been over a year now. You've been promising that you're going to do this and that.
The lady friend came down for Christmas, and the madre and the sister-in-law made jambalaya and gumbo and etouffee and all kinds of stuff. And we get back, and she's like, Christmas was great, and you do know you now have to cook for me all the time, right? Like, it's Cajun cooks work, man. It's work. But for you, I'm willing to do it, Lonzo. Mainly because turducken, you buy it already done.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is I could just buy it and make it myself.
Yeah.
And I got a better shot of actually getting some if I do that.
You don't have to be rude.
Not. I'm being a rock.
Keegan just wrote in, how do kids get into football? Madden. Generations of new football fans got into football because of John Madden. That's exactly right. And here's the thing. You know, Madden is the most popular video gaming franchise of all time, and it will stay that way, okay? Everybody, even if you're not a big football guy, everybody plays Madden because everybody plays Madden. Here's the thing. When Madden was initially being created, Lonzo, it was actually intended to be more cartoony. It was actually meant to be a cartoonish version of football. Kind of what NFL Blitz. You remember NFL Blitz?
Yeah.
That game was great. NFL Blitz was great. And that was originally what Madden was supposed to be.
That was brutal, but a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
NFL Blitz was a great game. Yeah, I think 7-on-7, and it was just violent football.
And you could do leg drops.
Yeah, but it was ridiculous, right? It was so over the top. It was cartoony. That's what Madden was supposed to be when they created it. But John Madden went to EA Sports when they started making Madden and said, no, we want to connect with football fans and give them a chance to be the game that they love to watch on TV. We want an opportunity to let football fans be an NFL player. Not a cartoon version of one. And EA Sports eventually gave in, and they turned it into Madden, the most successful video game franchise in the history of video game franchises. It has outpaced Mario. It has outpaced Sonic. It has outpaced every other video game because of John Madden. It would have been an early NFL Blitz, and it would have failed, or at least not been as successful as it was. But when John Madden got into the booth, whether it was with Summerall or whether it was with Collinsworth or whoever he was calling games with, when dude got into the game, when he got into the booth, when he started talking to us, to Joe everybody, and I got some of my favorite clips I'm going to run for you in the next segment of the show. When he got into the booth and he started breaking down football, you heard a couple of things. First off, you heard John Madden's love for the game of football, right? You hear a lot of play-by-play guys that they like the game, but they're in the booth because it's a good job. John Madden loved football. And when something happened on a football field that was just football, one of Madden's greatest catchphrases, you'll hear it in the clips I'm going to play for you coming up in a minute. One of the greatest things you'd ever hear John Madden go is he'd lean into the mic and he'd go, now that's football. And you could hear that he was pumped about what he just saw. I got a clip coming up. It's got two play-by-plays in it, one of which is from an early John Elway game where Elway turned and gave the ball off to a running back. And one of the linebackers, who I'm blanking on his name right now, but he reads Ronnie, attacks the line of scrimmage. He explodes over the offensive line, and he lays the lumber on the running back. And you hear Madden just go, boom, that's football. Like he's into it. And it's fantastic.
I hope it was a running back over my shoulder.
No, it was not TD. It was not Terrell. That was Madden. That was Madden. And the best part about it was, unlike a lot of other guys, and I think this is one of the reasons I really like Tony Romo and the Boost so much. It was never about John Madden. It was always about the football, right? It's one of the reasons people don't like Chris Collinsworth, because it feels like when Collinsworth's talking, he's trying to show you how much he knows, right? He was a haughty intellectual in the booth. He was trying to make sure you know how smart he is when it comes to the game.
And he's been that way since he was a player in the league,
Yeah.
so it's not a surprise.
And that's why every year Chris Collinsworth is voted the least liked color commenter by the NFL players. John Madden was never about John Madden. John Madden was about making football entertaining, making football enjoyable to the people who wanted to watch football. When John Madden got on the mic to talk football, even if you were a nobody, right? Like Madden always used to get made fun of because Madden would say, oh, when the quarterback throws it to his receiver and he catches it, that's where he gets tackled. That's where the ball's down. And yeah, sometimes Madden oversimplified things a little bit. But here's the thing. My mom could watch a John Madden game and feel like she was part of it, like she understood. But I, as a football guy, could also watch a Madden game. And when Madden started, in fact, I don't think I have it in the clip, but I was watching this morning a clip of Madden and Summerall calling a Seahawks game back when Matt Hasselbeck was the quarterback. And Hasselbeck runs a bootleg. And Madden breaks that whole thing down. But he does it in a way that my mom, who knows football, likes football, but, she can't necessarily tell you the terminology for what it means when the quarterback turns, the offensive line breaks right, he fakes the handoff to the right, then rolls back around to the left. It's a bootleg. She may not know the term for it, but she knows what's happening. John Madden towed that line, but he did so in a way that everybody felt like they were part of it. And yes, sometimes the explanations were a bit elementary. But Madden knew that if he wanted to grow the sport, do you know who you have to talk to? New fans. You have to talk to new fans. If you want somebody to get into a thing, you can't hit them with expertise level terminology. If somebody comes up to me and goes, Rob, I'm interested in outer space, I don't start breaking down how supernovas work. I start with elementary stuff. I start with the little stuff that happens close to home that they can see and feel and experience and understand. And then as they grow into that conversation, then we can start talking about gamma rays. Yeah, I'm a dork. Get off me. But that was Madden. John Madden knew more than maybe anybody else that's ever got on a mic calling NFL games that the way to grow the game, which was the most important thing, at least the way John Madden presented his broadcast, the most important thing to John Madden was, I want casual fans. I want new fans. I want people who are maybe around football at this level for the first time to get it, to understand it, to be able to feel like they have some grasp on a very complicated game so that they can go, oh, I am a football fan. I have learned this game. Now I'd like to grow into it. One of my favorite things about the Madden video game franchise was the Ask Madden button, right? You'd scroll through and you go, oh, I don't know what play to run. It's 3rd and 6. Probably too long for a run. Don't really have a great speedster wide receiver. I'll push the old circle button and ask Madden. And Madden would pop up and go, I'd say this play right here, and here's why. And this is the explanation. The defense is likely going to run this and this. It was great. Didn't always work. Sometimes it was busted. The point was, John Madden was teaching you football. And I think that's what I loved about the guy. It didn't matter whether you were a 20-year vet who's been watching the NFL like I have since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Doesn't matter if you're a casual fan like my mom who watches the Saints games but not a lot else. Doesn't matter if you were an 8-year-old kid watching his first NFL game. John Madden wanted you to get it. Wanted you to fall in love with the game of football the way that he fell in love with the game of football. Wanted you to be a part of the game of football the way that he was a part of the game of football. And he spoke to everybody, but he could break it up. What's one of the things, Alonzo, one of the things that I think has kind of become a hallmark of this show is that every now and then we got a segment that just kind of goes off the rails, but away from sports, right? Just into normal people stuff. Video games, movies, music, pop culture, discussions about people losing their groins. Like it just goes off the rails into regular dudes at a bar or at a restaurant talking sports, but also kind of not. But the reason why is because that's what normal people talk about. I want people to be involved so that if I do an NBA segment, it's not your thing. A segment later, you feel like you're brought right back in because you definitely have an opinion on whether or not chili goes on a hot dog. That's the point. People want, we had a text, as a matter of fact, sent in earlier that said, I watched John Madden doing pregame at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh on a Monday Night Football game. He used the on-screen teleprompter to point out and explain the Three Rivers. He said, well, you got the Allegheny River right here, and then you got the Monongahela right there, and then they meet, and you got your confluence right there, and then it becomes the Ohio River, and that's why it's called Three Rivers Stadium. And that's it. John would explain literally the simplest stuff. But when you gave him that little yellow pen that he could color on the screen with, all of a sudden it became entertaining as hell, and he wasn't just hitting you with every break of, let's go back and diagnose that last play 6 more times. Maybe you need 30 seconds to let your brain reset if you're a young football fan, so now you know why the Three River Stadium is the Three River Stadium. And then back to football. It was great.
I kind of believe that I was actually watching that game. Because when you were pointing out, I was like, man, I'm pretty sure I saw that happen.
Yeah. Absolutely. And coming up here in just a minute, I'm going to play the segment that made the turducken famous. I'm going to have John listening. There was a game in San Francisco. It was LA and the 49ers. No, it was San Diego. Sorry. Because it was Fleet Week in San Diego, and the Blue Angels were doing a flight show at the same time as the NFL game. And the Blue Angels did not one but 2 flyovers of the stadium while I want to say San Diego and San Francisco were playing. And you're going to get to hear John Madden just reacting like a dude to the Blue Angels. And it's incredibly entertaining. And this is happening while there's also a football game going on that he kept you invested in. John Madden's going to go down as one of the GOATs on the bike. Not because he was an incredible orator. He wasn't. Not because he was a guy who would compel you with painting of pictures with flowery language. He wasn't. John Madden was entertaining. Because whether you were a novice NFL fan, a seasoned NFL fan, or a 25-year head coach who had retired and was sitting at home, John Madden had something for you. He could break down why the bootleg with the crackback block from the ex-receiver worked so well against the 3-4 shaded defense that the defense ran. But then he could also use that telestrator to teach you how to properly carve a turducken between plays, and they were equally compelling. And then he created the most successful video game franchise in the world that has introduced tens and tens and tens of thousands of people, not just to the game of football, but how the game of football works on the field. So you can see it when you're watching because you learn that play from Madden, and you see it played by these NFL players, and now you're going, I knew that. I knew why that worked. I'm a fan.
And by the way,
I come in here and talk about football, and I will not pretend to be a great football mind, right? I'm not going to pretend to be a great football mind, but I can recognize the defense, right? You show me a screen grab, I can tell you that's a single high safety disguised as a cover 2. I can tell you, that's a 3-4-4-3. I can give you the basics. You know how I learned that? Madden. I learned that on Madden, not from playing at a high school level where we ran the same 4-3 defensive scheme every single play, not from playing in high school where it was option left, option right, throw it to the 5-star Alabama recruit touchdown. I learned all of that from Madden, ladies and gentlemen. I know what I know about football because of John Madden. And you know who else does? Tens and tens and tens of thousands of people my age who have been playing Madden since they were 5 years old. And kids who are still doing it today, 30 years later.
And some people from the beginning.
Yeah. What are we going on Madden? Madden 24 next year, I think. 24 years this game's been going. There are kids from 5 to 45 that have been playing Madden from the beginning. And no football because of John Madden. Because we learned how to call defenses on the Madden screen. Because we learned how to call audibles based on the coverage we saw from the Madden game. The dude was the ultimate football influencer and we may never have another one. We might not. RIP John Madden, you were the GOAT. When we come back, I got some of my favorite Madden clips to play. Then we got a ton of college football to talk. We're only with you till 2, so it's going to get hectic. Rob Lonzo and you on the Rob Brown Show. It's ESPN Upstate. Boom! We're back. Thanks for hanging out. What's up, everybody on the stream? Happy Wednesday. Wednesday.
Non-surgical regenerative treatments for joint pain, stopping lasting results using natural biologics. No surgeries, no pain meds, no steroids, and no downtime. This is really exciting stuff. Regenerative restorative treatments that actually encourage your body to heal itself using highly concentrated natural biologics. Patients are raving about it. For hip pain relief, knee pain relief, shoulder and back pain relief, don't let them keep giving you steroids, and don't let them tell you surgery is your only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics. Do it now and imagine life in 2022 without pain. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics now. 864-448-3772. 864-448-3772. That's 864-448-3772.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more-rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Have you ever wondered why eyeglasses cost so much? The eyewear industry has been dominated by a single company that's kept prices artificially high.
Yikes.
Warby Parker was created to change that. They design and produce their own eyewear and then sell it directly to you for a fraction of the price. Warby Parker's high-quality glasses start at just $90.
See, that has today's date on it. I wonder why it's not
Try
working.
5 pairs of frames for free. Go to warbyparker.com to pick your 5 frames to try on at home for free. That's warbyparker.com.
Another year is coming to a close, and you're still struggling to open and close your old windows? It's time with American-made windows. Don't go through another year with those stubborn, outdated, leaky, and drafty windows. Update and upgrade with our beautiful, energy-efficient windows today. We do expert work.
And they can't do it from in here. Lovely.
Lovely.
So I have to wait till the next break.
And remember, the best windows are American-made.
Son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pop.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it.
When your kid can't find the language, find the lyrics. Start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Between the baking, shopping, card writing, wrapping, decorating, it's easy to forget to enjoy the season. That's why I took the family to the Upstate Holiday Lights Show. We're making new holiday family memories. Just go to upstatelights.com for passes and info. That's upstatelights.com.
Here are the rules. No staring at your phone, no rolling in 2 hours late, no sweatpants, no jeans, and no shorts.
For complete rules on contests, go to espnupstate.com/rules. This report is sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery.
The Powerball jackpot for Wednesday is $441 million. Be sure to stop by your local South Carolina Education Lottery retailer and get your ticket today. See sceducationlottery.com for jackpot odds at a store near you.
We're trophy hosts. Sorry, trophy winning hosts. Make the best sports talk.
All right, let's do this. I think we got enough time. Look, I came in this morning. I threw together some of my favorite Madden clips. All right, just some random clips from about his career, but ones that stuck out to me. I watched probably 45 minutes of John Madden highlights today, and I picked out just a couple, just for fun. A couple that are about football, a couple that are just Madden being Madden. Some John Madden highlights from the Hall of Famer.
There's a pigeon on the field. How did he get in there?
Well, he wanted to get down there. He couldn't get a seat. He tried to get up above, and there was no place. The only place there was only that he could land was right there.
He was in the middle of the action. I thought the shoe came off.
I'll tell you, there's the throw. Johnson really has a bait, and there's a pigeon was right there where Johnson was running. I think there were 2 pigeons there. Johnson's trying to run a post pattern, and the pigeon's getting away.
And they're still there.
That's the old thing. You can run down to the pigeon and turn left. Pat Troy Aikman's trying to grow a beard, and he just can't do it. I mean, the blonde-haired guys, a lot of them have trouble, but I can't even. I'm looking as close as I can, and I can't see any beard. But that's a 4-day beard, isn't it?
It's a passive attempt.
It's very, very passive.
There it is.
Here it is. But see, I mean, he got a little in here and a little up there here, but he doesn't have anything here at all. Watch, when you take it off, he doesn't have anything going up in there.
Well, you got to give him time. He just had his 29th birthday.
I know, but I don't think he's doing a very good. I'd quit. I mean, like if you've been working out for like 4 days and that's all you get, and the going gets tough. If it's that tough, just quit.
Well, you can't just quit.
Yes, you can. Well, that's what I'm saying. When the going gets tough, quit. Never lose.
That's what a coach is saying in Ireland.
I just wonder where those turkeys are going to be for Thanksgiving.
I have a feeling I know. Kevin Barlow. Well, John, for years at CBS and Fox, it became a tradition, the turkey leg and all of that. And you brought to the knowledge of America the turducken. And so our friends at the Four Seasons cooked you a turducken.
Oh,
there it is.
What that is?
I think it's a turducken.
It is a turducken, but I got to show you how to. I can't show you. I need fresh turducken. I'm going to have crazy turducken. But anyway, here's how you slice it. See, a lot of people don't know. You have to slice it down the middle. See, and then you slice it across this way. Because what it is, it's a deboned chicken stuffed in a deboned duck, stuffed in a deboned turkey with dressing between the chicken and the duck and the duck and the turkey. So as you cut down that way, you go turkey, dressing, duck, dressing, chicken.
You know, one of the great things about your coming over here is I'm able to ask you all of these questions because for a lot of years I thought a turducken was some sort of a foul crossbreed, but it's not.
Well,
it's just three different things.
Yeah. It's really 5 different things. It's a chicken, a duck, a turkey, and 2 kinds of dressings.
And are you going to have one on your Thanksgiving table?
Yeah, I'm going to have one. I have to bring it though, but because it. Oh, here's a picture of one.
Turducken.
Yeah,
picture. That is it.
And you see, you cut it like right down here. See, and then this is what it looks like inside. See, so you got turkey, then duck, and then dressing, and then chicken.
Oh,
and then you just have to do it that way, or. If any of that makes sense.
Now, can I get some hoisin sauce with that? That's unbelievable.
The first time I ever had one of these, I ate it with my fingers, and then I had to shake hands, and I didn't know whether
stay away from me.
They can take me from here, standing next to you, which is going to happen. But one thing they can't take is my feeling for you, the friendship we developed. We've been a team. And I'm proud of that fact. We've been a winning team.
And the memories of 21 years and 21 great years. And not only, 21 years of games, but 21 years of being together and everything. As you say, those memories will be with us forever and they can never be taken away. And I have a plaque here. It's from the playing field to the broadcast booth. Fox Sports salutes 50 years of NFL greatness to Pat Summerall. And this is part of the goalpost from Yankee Stadium. New York Giants 13, Cleveland Browns 10. Pat Summerall kicks winning 49-yard field goal.
Well, John, I can't thank you enough. I thought at first that was the bench where I was sitting most of the time.
That's what the old goalposts look like.
I'll cherish that as well.
Is great football. Gary Reasons on that drive made 3 of the best hits I've ever seen him make in his life. I've ever seen anyone make, and this is the best of the 3 best.
Wow.
Look at the determination. He reads run the whole way. He reads Humphrey the whole way. He takes off for the jump before Humphrey takes off for his jump. That is football. See how heat does come out the top of your head? Look at it, just coming off at Nate's head there. That's where it escapes. If you have heat in your body and you want to let it out, you take your hat off.
Yeah.
What you could do is you could have a barbecue on that head.
Nate's got a lot of room to let it out.
Yeah. You could cook like some burgers on there. Look at now you're talking. I mean, this is football. When you got steam coming out of your head and your mouth, now you're talking football. You're controlling that offensive line. This is what it's all about. It's a playoff game. If you win, you go to the championship. Well, what are you talking about?
You don't see a lot of indoor blimps.
No, I know it. And see what it is it's a tethered blimp. See this here? It's tethered. These lines hold it still, so it stays there. This means nothing. That's the camera. That's the thing that you take the pictures with. So they have to have a tethering thing. See, that's a tethered blimp. You shouldn't know words like tethered. Then that thing moves by itself. There's no man up there in that blimp. That just moves. When you say move, stop, it does. It does whatever you tell it to do.
You don't fly it, you tether it. Here again, those phone numbers. And the situation you think should be observed. In current form, yes. In revised form, yes. Or just no.
I wonder who you get when you call them. I mean, you get someone who says, hey, good choice, or like a menu, or like a waiter, or thank you for your order. I tried it last night. They said we can't accept your call as dialed. They probably didn't put it in, though.
They probably recognized your voice.
With Madden here. You look at Matt Hasselbeck, and you don't think of him as a runner, but he's a very good runner. This is a bootleg. You see, he fakes the run to the left, and then he comes out here on a bootleg pass. He has the crosser who is covered, so he had to run. He had one guy on the outside, then he has Bobby Ingram coming on the cross. He sees that he doesn't have either thing. He's not going to force it in there, so he turns and runs with it. Well, this has to be an idea that Mike Holmgren has now that he wants to bootleg, because on the first down play, he bootlegged. On the third down play, he bootlegged to the right. Then he comes right back with another bootleg. See, both backs go to the right. You see Hasselbeck bootlegs out here to his left. So he bootlegged right and then came right back with another bootleg, this time to the right.
Bench and defensive instructions.
Well, Bill Belichick is the defensive coordinator of the Giants. And one thing you learn as a defensive coach, you learn to draw upside down. And then all you guys watching, you draw all the plays and formations that they do. This guy is a very good coach. And you're talking about him as a possible head coach in the National Football League this year. You know what this is all about? This is about the 49er defense generally, and specifically the front seven. I mean, the front seven, the line and the linebackers of the 49ers just whipped this Ram offense. Oh, here comes an airplane. The Angels. Holy moly. See that? They just flew right up. Holy moly, what the heck was that?
The Blue Angels.
But they were close.
I mean, they were
You're
close.
not supposed to get that close, are you? Do they know what they're doing?
Well, I hope so.
They were close. I mean, they were close to us, but they were close to each other. Look at the players over there wondering what the heck's happened. The crap is staying that straight. But they just went right by our eyes. They were at eye level, I think. Where are they now? Is that a replay of them?
No.
Huh?
No.
Holy moly.
They're turning around. There they go.
I hope they don't come back. I've had enough for that. That's as close as I've been to an airplane in 18 years.
I was going to say, you don't fly, do you?
No, and I haven't been that close to an airplane.
Listen.
It was a lot louder than that.
Yes, it was.
About 20 seconds ago. Whew. The thing, you know, I mean, you get up in the morning, listen to this traffic still going. But you get up in the morning and you think, well, I'm going to go to a football game. You know, I mean, the 49ers, the Rams, the old rivalry. You don't expect to be standing up here and see a bunch of old airplanes fly by you.
Those aren't old airplanes.
No, well, are they new?
Yeah.
What the heck was that all about? Were they even flying upside down?
No, they were okay.
Sometimes those guys are. I mean, sometimes those guys do goofy things. I think they do fly those airplanes upside down. Listen to the crowd still talking about it.
Still buzzing.
Well, we just got buzzed.
Now here they come again.
Where? They're not coming. Maybe they're going to land or something. Maybe it's over. They shouldn't be doing that during a game anyway.
They're F-18 Hornets. They left the MetLife blimp.
That's good to know.
Ran it quickly. Incomplete. Intended for Owens. Couldn't find the handle.
You know, the players were even disrupted by that. I mean, the players were out there playing. They're playing along. And these guys start doing that, and they didn't know what the heck was happening. Watch them now. They're breaking off. They're starting to fly, and then
They're coming back to see you again.
No, I've had enough of them. They've had enough of me.
It's Fleet Week.
They ought to go home.
Here in San Francisco.
What kind of guys do that? I mean, does a kid want to be a Blue Angel, you think?
Sure. Yeah.
They never wanted to be a Blue Angel.
I love that guy. I love him. John Madden, the GOAT on the mic. R.I.P., man. Thank you for the memories. That was him talking about, of course, Pensacola, Florida's own world-famous Blue Angels doing a flyover the stadium. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. All right, time to come back. Time to talk football. We got the Cheez-It Bowl going on tonight. We'll give you our official prediction for Clemson taking on Iowa State. Tomorrow's Duke's Mayo Bowl right up the road in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then, of course, on Friday, we got a pair of semifinal games to break down. All that coming up over the next hour and 17 minutes of the Rob Brown Show right here on ESPN Upstate.
So just to let you know, breaks appear to be a little bit longer, so I'm thinking they try to squeeze the last hour's
Put
breaks
everything
into
back in,
both
yeah.
hours. So you wonder why. Man, that break seems really long. That's why.
Activated from the COVID-19 list today. Able to bring back those players in part due to the new isolation period for players agreed to by the NFL and NFLPA. After dealing with COVID issues a few weeks ago, Georgia coach Kirby Smart said today he expects his Bulldogs
Starting to realize that I'm Madden-like in a lot of situations where you've got that real intelligent guy and I'm just going all over the place, and they have to. Summerall helped
He had
make
to rein
Madden.
Madden in a lot.
Yes, he did. And he always has that amused sound to his voice, like he's not quite sure if he believes that way or not. But just in case, he probably should help. No, Stephen, Rob is waiting, so he's gonna have to
Tomorrow's
wait.
the spoiler window, so.
But he won't be
next
here.
week.
Yeah, so
You and Carter can talk about it if you want.
I would love to, but I don't know if Carter actually watches movies or anything. We haven't really had that discussion. Well, I guess we have a little bit. Are we doing Twitter?
Maybe. Yeah, pull a few. We'll do it.
Okay.
Last show of the year. We might as well
I
finish.
mean, it doesn't matter to me. I would like to be prepared, and it probably should just have prepared anyway. Something is trending, and I don't know why, but it's okay. Let's go, Peloton family. You're not tired, are you? Only been 35 miles. So, Rob, I know you can't spoil, but what did you think about that last episode of Hawkeye?
I watched it.
Yeah, I know. That's why
Oh, okay.
I know.
You saw me watching it?
Yes, I did.
Good. I liked it. I think it's not going to get the credit it deserves as a show because it's less flashy, superhero-y than the rest. But I thought it was well put together. I'm glad that they ended it with Yelena the way that they did because that was the only logical outcome was he just goes, I didn't kill your sister, so chill. I am super intrigued to see where they go with Echo and or
Well, that, yeah.
our new big baddie.
Well, that, yeah.
Also, I like that new big baddie was more comic true than he was.
You should, there's some videos out there of him
Yeah.
talking. You should watch some of those.
Okay.
He had a big influence on what he was wearing.
Yeah, I heard about that. I haven't read the
He's
story
had that
for
as,
the Hawaiian
as a
shirt.
screensaver for
Yeah.
like 5 years
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something like that. So. And Steven, I see you're watching Matrix. Not everybody's going to like it.
I've heard a lot of people not like it.
If
Like,
you're
just genuinely dislike
if you're a gamer,
yeah,
you're going to like it.
okay.
Cameron and I both liked it. So, I mean, I was worried they were going in a certain direction, and they did to a certain degree, but it was explained really well about why. And so I was okay with it. Thank you, Trey. Here's the thing. Rob is really good at doing play-by-play. I have never been had the opportunity.
I'd do it.
But you never know. Like next year. You never know.
Love it.
I will say if offered, I probably would say yes. Golf card next break.
Do what?
Golf card next break.
All right, the Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is ESPN Upstate. Hello, friends. Rob, Lonzo, and you. Little homage to the great John Madden going on. Lost him at 85 years of age yesterday. Coming up on the show today, I got a few more things to talk about, including what I'm going to do in the next segment. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jacksonville Jaguars are already handling their head coaching position better than the Carolina Panthers are right now. And I'm going to tell you why when I come back in the next segment. Next hour of the show, it's wall-to-wall college football. We got the Cheez-It Bowl tonight, Iowa State and Clemson getting it on down in Orlando. I woke up feeling the cheesiest coach.
I shouldn't laugh every time, but
it's great.
Congrats, Clemson.
So we got that coming up. Obviously, we'll break down the Duke's Mayo Bowl, and we got 2 semifinals we need to get you a breakdown on. All of that coming up in the next hour of the show. By the way, real quick before we take this break and talk some NFL football, Steph Curry knocked down his 3,000th career three-pointer last night. No NBA player has ever accomplished that. Of course, he set the overall record a couple of weeks ago, but he has hit a new milestone, knocked down his 8th three-point attempt last night to give himself the 3,000 mark.
How many binkies did he go through while in that time period?
Such a hater, Lonzo. Such a hater. Curry has now made a three-pointer in 157 consecutive games, tying his own NBA record during the streak. He has made a three-pointer in every game since December 1st of 2018. He had a chance on Christmas Day against the Suns to get to 3K, but missed the bunch. The soon-to-be 34-year-old turns 34 in March. Is going to own this record. I'm going to go with Alonzo here. I'm not saying that it's never going to be broken, but it's going to be a long, long time before we see another Steph Curry. Let's take a break. When we come back, what Jacksonville is already doing to handle their head coaching position better than the Panthers. Rashad Beard joins us at 1 o'clock as well. Forgot we asked him to move to today. So we'll talk Panther football with him at 1 as well. And then it's all college football for the rest of the way home on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate.
Golf cart.
If you have a golfer in your family, ladies and gentlemen, then you need to pick them up. The 2022 Upstate Golf Card on sale now. Just $99 is going to get you the Upstate Golf Card. 18 holes on 10 of the most prestigious golf courses around the Upstate. You're not going to beat it, ladies and gentlemen. That's effectively $10 a round to play at some beautiful courses that are not $10 a round, but they are with the Upstate Golf Club, the Preserve at Verde, the Rock Golf Club and Resort, Rolling Green Golf Club, and others. Go to upstategolfcard.com to get yours today. It's the 2021 Upstate Golf Card.
few scattered showers and storms this afternoon. And a high around 70. Tonight, chance for rain and storms, low 63. Thursday, chance for storms, high 72. Friday, chance for rain, high 71. And a chance for rain for the New Year's weekend. Meteorologist Jennifer Buczynski on ESPN Upstate. Currently, it's 65.
The Rose Bowl game, presented by Capital One Venture X. 11th ranked Utah Storms in Pasadena, fresh off winning their first ever Pac-12 championship. They'll face number 6 Ohio State, who had their Big Ten title and playoff hopes ended by Michigan in the final game of the regular season. Utah, Ohio State. The Rose Bowl game, presented by Capital One Venture X.
Saturday afternoon at 4:30 when you're home for college football bowl season. ESPN Upstate.
Do you really want to go through
I watched that Goldberg interview yesterday. That was actually pretty good on McAfee. Yeah. He kind of fits well in that show.
Yeah.
It's also good to see him he was a little more loose than what he is in other places. So.
I also have to catch up on the last 3 Monday Night Raws.
Go in blind. What do you need to know what's going on? Or just watch Saturday night or watch the replay of Saturday night. That ought to catch you up.
Yeah.
I am curious to see if they have to move some things around because of
The Rona.
Yes.
Well, they sent out a memo earlier this week that they weren't testing anymore. They're just not going to test the wrestlers.
That's one way to do it.
Can't have no cases if you don't take no tests.
That is true. I think the match I'm most interested in is AJ versus Omos.
Oh, they're not together anymore?
No. Because
Was almost ready to go off on his own yet.
that's why I'm most interested in it. We know AJ makes everybody look good. Can he make Omos look good? I mean, you can see improvement with Omos, but he's definitely not where he's like. I don't know if he's as stagnant as Dominic Mysterio is, because Dominic Mysterio is very. I think he might be going the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And that's a concern.
Dominic doesn't strike me as a guy who makes it as a wrestler if he's not Ray's kid.
Right. With Omos, you can tell when he started working with Kevin Nash because he slowed everything down, didn't try to rush. And when he does, like, get somebody in the corner or something and does speed up, it's such a transition that it makes it stand out more. There's just a lot of things. And I'm trying to remember the card without looking it up. It's going to be RK Bro versus Street Profits, which you kind of want to see that too. That should be a good match. I hate that they made Big E's match a fatal four-way though. That's the one that I think may have to change if Seth's not.
Who else is in there? I'm assuming
Seth, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley. I predict Kevin Owens is the next champion. As a reward for him re-signing. Yep. Bobby Lashley beats everybody up, and Kevin
steals the dub.
Yep. Which I'm okay with. I'm okay with this heel turn. You say I'm this. You say I'm all this. Okay, I'm just going to do it.
My mother just asked you, "Y'all seriously having a conversation about wrestling?" Yes, Mom, we are. We like wrestling. Judge me. All right, wrapping up the first hour of the show. We only got two of them for you today. Rashad Beard of the Panther Nation podcast is going to join us in the next segment. I'm going to ask him a little bit about the Carolina Panthers head coaching situation, question mark, I guess, is what we're going to call it here. Situation.
It's a matter of people deciding that the Panthers need a new coach.
That's me.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
That's me. I'm people.
Unfortunately, you're not the one who makes it. Or fortunately, yeah. So I haven't seen any. I got to look up the hot seat thing and see if he's up on high on the list. Just because you think he should doesn't mean he is.
Oh, I think if I'm putting together a list of NFL coaches on the hot seat, he's number one. I mean, who else?
By the way, I just don't think he's going anywhere.
No, I don't think he is. I think he should. There's a difference. Hot seat coaches, top of my head. Vic Fangio in Denver is on the hot seat. Matt Nagy in Chicago is most certainly on the hot seat. I would say that is Pete Carroll on the hot seat?
It's funny. So I looked it up, and the first three things that come up, one shows Matt Rule, one shows Pete Carroll, and one shows
Vic Fangio.
Yeah,
top three, easy. I would say those are the three. I would say Nagy is for sure, Rule is for sure, Fangio is for sure. Pete Carroll is a question mark, but this is his first real bad year in a while, so I'm going to say he's probably got some goodwill built up. We'll ask Rashad Beer what he thinks. Panther Nation podcast, that comes up next. Then it's college football all the way home on the Rob Brown Show. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. This is ESPN Upstate.
I don't know. Am I the only one who thinks that Rob got my name? It's just a hesitation. Was like, he pointed and he's like, who was I talking to? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that guy. Because if you've forgotten who I am already, I'm going to have to do something to fix that.
Takes us back to January 11th.
Alabama.
Yeah, I'm so glad I fixed that. I need a number.
You do need a number. Let me turn off the mic. Wouldn't say no to Peterson. Yeah, and he's one of the two guys, George, that the Jaguars are interviewing today. Doug Peterson and Jim Caldwell are both getting interviewed by Jacksonville right now. They believe that a fugitive of the U.S. Marshal Service's 15 most wanted list may have not only been at the game, but sat directly behind home plate on camera for the duration of the game. John Rufo is wanted by the Marshals because of his part in a $350 million bank fraud scam. Carmine Pascal, who was Rufo's cousin, told ABC7, quote, "I'm watching and there's Johnny." Yo, Carmine, I'm gonna be at the game. You filthy rat, you backstabbing rat. Chilling Dreer texts in and says, "Tune into tomorrow's show where Carmine swims with the fishes." You may get your wish, Keegan. You may get your wish. The rumor is that he may be considered in Jacksonville as well.
It is going good. Hang on, we got 30 seconds. Hang on. I don't understand why there isn't the same anger about all the retreads for coaches as there are. A college coach can't move up. I mean,
there is.
So the same guy.
Take Caldwell or Matt Rule right now. There's your reason.
Wow.
It is. I'm just saying, you asked why would you do that instead of taking some college coaches. I just gave you the reason. The last two have failed. Letter Rep the second and also final. Today, we're taking you out to bowl games at 2 o'clock. So the second hour of the Rob Brown Show. Not second and final Rob Brown Show. Second and final hour.
Of just a letter rip.
Rip
part. No, you said let her rip, and I was worried.
We got you till 2 o'clock. Then we're kicking you up for some bowl game coverage. I will do a 30-minute uninterrupted segment that'll carry on as an extension of the show coming up at 6 to 6:30. Then Furman basketball. However, right now we go to the phone lines. He usually joins us on Thursday, but he was kind enough, despite what I assume is some level of, I don't know, somewhere between depression and sadness about the back half of the season for your Carolina Panthers, the host of the Panther Nation podcast, which you can find at Panther Nation PC on Twitter, at Panther Nation PC. But of course, subscribe to their YouTube channel at Panther Nation Podcast. Rashad, you doing all right, big fella? You need a hug? You need a hug or something, buddy?
A hug would be nice right about now. That's about all that would make this thing better.
It's been, as the kids say, tough sledding lately. Let's jump right into the one question I have said, Rashad, and I don't think that I'm going out on any big thick limbs to say this. I think the Matt Rule experiment is over, buddy. I really do.
Yeah, the Matt Rule experiment should be over, but the word on the street is that he has confidence of David Tepper and the owner obviously, and I think that's all that matters. Our opinion doesn't matter. If it did, he would have been gone weeks ago. But yeah, I agree, man. The guy is not getting it done, and I've always maintained that the talent is not the issue with this roster outside the offensive line. I think you have enough. You have a solid enough quarterback in Cam Newton. Again, not the guy. He's not the guy moving forward. Should not be the franchise quarterback of the future. But I think Cam Newton is a decent enough quarterback to get you some wins. And I think the defense was playing well, and they've gone to crap down the stretch here too. But I don't think the talent is the issue. I think this is a pure coaching issue. Looking across the board, looking at the other coaches that were hired in 2020 with Matt Rule, he has the lowest win percentage of them all. And we're talking about Joe Judge here, worse than Joe Judge. That's where we are right now. And it's completely unacceptable. And for this guy to continue to get another year would just be blasphemous in my opinion.
We're talking to Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast here on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate. I've heard both ways, right? And granted, we're both relying on hashtag sources, right? I've heard a lot of Fitterer and Tepper are supporting Rule. They're going to give him another shot. Matt Rule said in a press conference earlier this week, he said, I had that conversation with them. And in that conversation with them, they said they're supportive. They got my back. And then I got folks on all the message boards going, the folks around town are saying that Matt Rule's gone. It's a matter of time. Well, the window opened yesterday, Rashad, where NFL teams can start discussing head coaching vacancies with the assistants and coordinators from other teams. So if there was going to be any noise about Carolina putting out phone calls, would have happened yesterday, and I got nothing so far, Rashad. If they stick with Matt Rule for one more year, do you have any optimism about next season?
I have no optimism. I don't know what to think. There's obviously they're going to go all in from a personnel standpoint, but I don't see us getting that much better. I mean, look, I'm all about trends, right? That's the biggest thing with me. I'm all about trajectory, trends. Where is this thing going? Like, I could understand if we were closing this thing out strong, we were looking good, and there was some hope, some level of hope on the offensive side of football and the defensive side of football. But it's just going downhill. It's getting worse. Like we are a worse team than we were last year. We are losing by far more points than we were last year. The only thing that was improved was the defense, and now they are regressing. And so there's no hope for me. I mean, I have nothing. There's no straw that I can grasp to say, hey, dude, we're going to be better. And we haven't had many interactions, but I'm an optimistic guy. Like, I like to look at the brighter side of things. I like to say, hey, give guys a chance. But I just don't really think that there's anything to put my hat on. I mean, there's nothing I can say, dude, we're going to get better. I mean, you look at the draft capital, they're going to have to be some finagling there. Free agency, we don't have the most, cap room. So we're going to have to do some cap magic and stuff like that. So, again, I just don't know where it's going to come from. And, again, I just think if there was better coaching, I think I would be more likely to be more optimistic, but I just don't see it happening. I don't. I really don't. And like you said, if we were going to fire Matt Rule, we'd have done it so we can get a jump. We did that last time when we fired Ron Rivera. We fired him mid-season to get a jump on interviewing those college guys and the rest of the guys throughout the league. Now the window is open for us to interview a coach, an assistant coach from another squad, and we're sitting here with Matt Rule. So I don't think he's going to get fired. And they'd be dumb if they do it at the end of the season, and then we'd be behind the ball. So it just doesn't make sense. So the tea leaves to me say that he's going to be here for another year.
Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast, joining us here on the Rob Brown Show, ESPN Upstate. Rashad, I have put the failure on coaching, right? And I pointed the defense for doing so. Defense earlier in the year looked very good. Teams got the opportunity to put eyes on game film, kind of figured it out. Nothing has changed from the coaching and the schematics perspective on the defense. And on paper, this defense should be a top 5 unit in the league. On paper, they should be a top 5 unit in the league. I know they've had some injuries like J.C. Horn, et cetera, but should still, with the players out there, be a top 5 unit. And they are not just not a top 5 unit, but as you pointed out, getting progressively worse week to week, which tells me that offensive coaches figured out the scheme, figured out the system, and Carolina's got no coaching to update it, to tinker with it as you go. To me, it's a coaching failure, but as you pointed out, when David Tepper believes a guy is the guy, he gives him a lot of leash, and when he believes that he's not the guy, he's not unafraid to pay a buyout to get him out of the building. The fact that he has not done that leads me to believe, A, the problem is coaching, and B, David Tepper doesn't believe that, which to me is a franchise problem.
Yeah, no, I mean, bingo. I mean, it starts at the top, right? And I think David, and I don't know David Tepper personally, I wish I did, but he seems like a guy that wants to prove people wrong. Like he wants to go out there and say, hey, look what I did. I went out of the norm. I went out of the box, and what I did worked, right? He's done that with his investments and things like that. And I think he is sticking with the guy that he chose, and he wants to prove everybody wrong that this guy that he chose is working. He's going to give him every opportunity to fail, right? And again, when you hire this guy and you say that year 3 is the year, everybody that knows Matt Rule's history, year 3 is the year where it quote unquote turns around. But I'd also argue that he also showed progression in year 2, or from year 1 to year 2, and that has not happened with the Carolina Panthers. And I also would add that this is not college. This is not a college program. They keep spewing. Every time I hear program in a press conference, I cringe, because this is not a program. This is a professional football team. This is not college. And I don't see it happening. Again, and I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. This is a pure coaching issue. The talent we have on this roster, even the skill guys that we have, the skill guy position that we have on offense, you should be able to look at the Miami Dolphins, right? We talk about how bad our offensive line is. Well, tell me why the offensive line of the Miami Dolphins is the worst offensive line in the league, and they're on a 7-game winning streak. Why is that? Because they have good coaching. Coaching matters. So we have to stop making excuses for bad coaching. It's not the personnel. We have good enough guys to get it done. We just need the coaches to figure out and adjust. They're not adjusting if their initial game plan does not work. We talked about this week after week after week after week. We get blown out because our game plan does not work. If it works, we win. We blow other teams out. When it doesn't work, we get blown out. It's just a lack of adjustment.
We're talking Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. So, Rashad, one of the big things for me, we were very optimistic about the Panthers at the beginning of the year. And I said, look, I don't know if this is a playoff team or not this year. I think it's a 500 team. If that's good enough to make a wild card, I don't know. But here's what I do know. The Saints have maybe a year or two left in the window, depending on if Jameis comes back or if they find the QB of the future, but it's an aging roster. The Atlanta Falcons are the Atlanta Falcons, and Tom Brady's going to leave the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whether it's after this year or next year. There's going to be a power vacuum, and I said at the beginning of the year, 2 year, Rashad, I think the good news for Carolina is they are the team best set up in this division for 2 years down the road to jump into that power vacuum and take control of the division. The problem I have here now is you are 2 years into a 7-year contract with Matt Rule. And even if Matt Rule was to be let go after next year, you're still rebooting the franchise at that point. You're having to rebuild a roster. I hate to say it because I'd like to offer a solution for it. I don't have one. I think you guys have wasted what was likely the best roster in the NFC South to be ready to take over Tom Brady's spot when he leaves the Buccaneers, and I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah, no, I am right. You hit the nail right on the head because that's exactly where I am. You know, you said the Atlanta Falcons are the Atlanta Falcons. Well, the Carolina Panthers are the Carolina Panthers. That's where we are a organization that it's badly run right now. And again, like you said, we had the opportunity to take over the division. The way everybody else is aging out, we still have a young roster, and we just blew. I think we just blew it. If you look at the roster build, and you look at, and I did this on Twitter. I posted on Twitter, and you talk about where other teams have failed. Right? You look at the Cincinnati Bengals. They're the only other, and Zach Taylor. They are the only other team that has survived. Or he's the only coach that has survived a win percentage lower than 0.3 with 30%, right? So we're now with Matt Rule. We'll finish right under 30% if we lose out the other two games, and we're right back where we started. We are a 5-win team, sitting at 2 years down the road. We are still a 5-win team. So we have completely wasted 2 years worth of roster building, right? And I think we have the talent. Again, we've done some good things on defense, and we've got some good young guys, but it's not equated to victories. That's what matters. He comes out here and says this whole Jay-Z thing, right? But you can't give me moral victories. You can't say, well, it's working. My system is working. You can't give me that spiel because ultimately it's measured in wins and losses, right? You are exactly what your wins say you are. You were a 5-win team. We were a 5-win team when we got you, and we are still a 5-win team. So what you're doing is not working. And again, I think we need to cut our losses. Shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars for cutting their losses as soon as they did, and they're moving on. And now they're looking to hire a new coach. And I think the Panthers should be doing the same thing to get this shit righted sooner rather than later.
Rashad, I was talking earlier about the Jacksonville. I was talking earlier about the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I said, as inept as that organization has been since Mark Brunell, I guess, they have done the right thing here, right? They let go of a coach that clearly was not a fit. And granted, there's a lot more toxicity that had been following Urban Meyer around than has followed Matt Rule around, although I have not really seen any Carolina Panthers, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I haven't really seen any players come out to defend Matt Rule either, right? There's a lot of criticism about him. I don't see a ton of Panthers lining up on ESPN to say, it's our coach, we believe in him, etc. But there's not necessarily the locker room toxicity there was with Urban. But what the Jaguars has done has cut ties with a guy who's not working out. And the first two guys that they called, both of them have some success in the league, some failure in the league, but they are known for consistency. They are known for stability. They are known for having a locker room that operates like an NFL locker room to generate the stability that a program needs to find its foundation. The Jacksonville Jaguars are already handling their business today, not over the past year, but today, the Jags seem to be outpacing the Panthers in terms of handling their business from the front office. Agree or disagree?
No, I agree. 100% agree. It didn't work. And again, different reasons, right? You're right. Urban Meyer has some things going on with the locker room that are different, right? We're just talking about wins and losses here. But at the end of the day, that's what it's about, right? Are you winning? And we're not winning here. And so I think we are moving in a sideways fashion. We are not going in an upward trajectory, and I think it's time to cut ties. Now, is it possible for Matt Rule to turn it around in year 3? It is, but I don't see it happening. The schedule, if you look at the teams we play next year, it's not pretty. Like, it's going to be tough sledding for sure for Matt Rule. He's going to have to really do a good job and really do, especially in the offseason, right? Fix that offensive line. And find out what you're going to do at the quarterback position. How are you going to get out that Sam Darnold situation? I have no idea. And I honestly don't want Matt Rule picking or touching another quarterback. I don't want him picking a rookie quarterback, then in turn getting fired leaving us with a quarterback on a rookie deal that a new coach may not want, i.e. Josh Rosen. So I just don't. I see this. I'm looking. I'm like Dr. Strange, trying to find that one way, and I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. It's going to be a rough another year for the Carolina Panthers, in my opinion.
Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. So a big loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You got the New Orleans Saints. This game flexed to the 425 spot. So unfortunately for both of us, our products will be put on full display in front of the nation. Rashad, huzzah.
Yeah.
New Orleans last week did lose to Miami on a Monday nighter, but also had 23 players on the COVID restricted list, plus, or I should say, including, excuse me, Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian, the number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks, had to bring in Ian Book, the 6th-round draft pick rookie with no experience, and on the bench, Blake freaking Bortles as the backup option there. Looks like the Saints will get most of those guys back. Carolina, on the other hand, sent everybody home from the facility yesterday due to what appears to be a COVID outbreak that we do not have numbers. Rashad, tell me what's going to happen Sunday, because I got to tell you, I think it's going to get ugly.
Yeah, we're going to get destroyed. Listen, we got Brian Burns on the list. We got Hassan Reddick on the COVID list. Just those two guys. We don't have a center right now. I think all three of our centers, one of them is on IR. The other two have COVID or on the COVID list. Shaq Thompson on the COVID list. So the strength, which is our defense, all of our leaders are on the COVID list. So this is going to get ugly. This is going to be a bad game for the Carolina Panthers. You guys are getting your guys get back. We are sending all our guys to the list. It's going to get ugly. I have no hope. I'm going to watch it again. I support my guy. I don't want to seem like I'm a huge downer. I'm a realist, but I'm always going to support my guys. I'm always going to wear the black and blue, and I'm always going to keep pounding. So I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to cheer for my guys. I'm going to suffer, and it is what it is. But yeah, it's not going to be pretty.
Looking forward to it? Question mark, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Rashad Beard is the host of the Panther Nation podcast. Find them on Twitter at Panther Nation PC, on YouTube by subscribing to the Panther Nation podcast. Make sure you click on the alert notifications so you can see all the times they go live. And maybe one day, we'll see Rashad smile again. Rashad, appreciate you, big fella.
Yeah, all right, man. Yeah, make sure you guys hit that sub button. We fully gone into draft mode, so we're doing mock drafts, all kind of good mock drafts, stuff like that, prospects, and all that good stuff. So make sure you hit that sub button on our YouTube channel. Thank you, guys.
There you go. Rashad Beard. You know it's a good season when you're going into draft mode with 2 weeks left in the season. That's how you know you did well.
You guys are depressing me.
A couple of negative Nancy's
I mean,
here.
come on. I want to point something out as we go to break. Kansas City brought in an entirely new offensive line this year. So it can be done. You can bring an entire new offensive line in and make it work. You absolutely can do it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely. I'm not arguing you can't. It has been done. But you got to have a competent GM and you got to have a competent head coach. And I don't know if Carolina has either one of those two things, right? New Orleans has turned over position after position. And while it doesn't look like it this year because Breeze is gone, they've been relatively successful for the better part of a decade and a half because they got a competent GM and a competent head coach.
As the ray of sunshine in this room, I just want to point out also that fairly new owner. He's only been around a couple of years. It's a very small sample size. And so you don't know what the future is going to hold. I would like to believe that they're going to look at the Kansas City blueprint and go, we can bring in an offensive line. They bring in an offensive line. A lot of things will look a whole lot better next year.
I mean, I don't disagree. And you're right. David Tepper's been in charge of this team for 2 seasons, right? Like, let's not freak out. But also, everything's going terrible and not getting better. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. It's ESPN Upstate. How do you pronounce a name that has a 3 on the front of it?
That is a capital, and I think it's an E.
Kupachenko. Kupachenko.
Download the Score app today. Lightning fast sports alerts so you never miss a thing. It's why the Score app is one of North America's most popular sports apps. With your ESPN Upstate Sports Center update, I'm Matt Pauley.
Then you realize how bad your eyes really are as you get closer and closer to the screen and still can't see it. Put up more LEDs last night, so I've got all my shelves lined with LEDs.
Have you put up the ones in the car yet?
No, I still haven't done that yet. I don't know. I'm probably gonna. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it out there and I'm gonna put it kind of where it's supposed to be, and plug it in and light it up and see.
If you like it.
Well, I'm also.
You're gonna like it. It's cool.
Yeah, but I'm also concerned. Will I look down a lot, going, man, that's cool, and not. Since it has to be red to match the car,
Yep.
what will I look like inside of the car? There's also that.
Glowing red.
Well, the windows are the windows are tinted. The windows are tinted, so it's going to be. Now, if it makes my eyes glow red when I turn towards someone sitting at the red light, I'm all for that. I'm gonna go out and look for me an end table today.
Ooh, adulting.
I need a tall end table. Well, my daughter found a couple end tables that have USB imp.
Yeah.
I want that. So it's more modernizing, and I need something taller. Because I have a chair lounger in my game room, and I turned it sideways, so I have room for my VR. But the problem is the cushion will slide off to the right. So if I get a taller end table that's fairly sturdy, I can put down at the end, the cushion won't slide off.
Yeah.
And then I can put all my electronics on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've one thing I forgot to tell you that I got a 4-pack battery charger. They're connected double A's,
okay,
and they all plug down into the holes for controllers.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's going to save me so much money on
I got
batteries.
one that has a charger and 2 battery packs, and the whole battery pack clicks off the controller and just sits in a dock and charges, and then you can pick the other one up and put it in, and it takes about as long to charge as it does for it to die off.
See, that's what this is.
I just click and alternate them.
That's what this is. There's 4 of them now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, do I need 4? I didn't buy it for me. I did request it, but
the only time I've ever needed more was when I just took one off and didn't put it on the charger because it was on the other side of the couch.
we had a discussion the other day is why do you need a second controller anymore?
Yeah, nobody really plays on the same TV anymore, do
They don't.
I mean, if you had like a young kid, like a child you were playing with, I could see it, but
And there's nothing wrong with having a backup controller in case, you're an angry person. If you're a game rager or rager gamer, whatever you call it, and you throw said thing against the wall, you got a backup. But even when we play Rock Band, you only need one controller because everything else you're using all the instruments. So I wonder when that is. When in the timeline of games did the second controller no longer become important? Although we're talking about Madden earlier, how many people actually play Madden together on the same TV?
not on the same TV.
Because I think sports would be the one game that maybe you would do that.
I don't know. I could see some FPS where you'd play on the same screen, but they'd have to.
But
No,
if it's
not FPS.
because split screen is a pain.
Third-person shooters.
Although I haven't played split screen on a really big TV, so I
Right.
wonder if it means this. I think your eyes would still be drawn, like mine was to the stupid loop on this mic stand. I just want to see if your mom's okay with us talking about video games
instead of wrestling.
since we were talking about wrestling. I want to look up what that means from the Russian listener, because it's the same thing that was said yesterday but a different person is saying it.
Right.
I think somebody needs a nap.
If you're talking about me, you are correct.
Dude, we're almost done.
All right, let's talk college football semifinals. We're going to start with our early game, Bama versus Cincinnati. Lonzo was feeling the techno a little bit here. Is techno or house? This is house. No, this would be technical, right? Technical? Techno?
I don't know, man. I'm old.
This would be techno, right? House is a little more upbeat, dancey.
See, I don't know. Do you play this at the rave? I've never been to the rave before. Is that what you do?
I don't know. I've never been to a rave.
I probably
Cool enough to be invited to a rave, I guess.
I knew a guy who used to work here, was an engineer. He was good with the glow sticks. It was amazing.
Tony?
No, but he trained Tony.
in glow sticks. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl is set for 3:30 Eastern on ESPN. Alabama versus Cincinnati. Alabama, a 13.5 point favorite in this one, ladies and gentlemen. 13.5 points is the number. And I got to tell you, it's a pretty good call, I think. It's a pretty good call. We talked about this a few times. Alabama plays in bowl games. Alabama wins the bowl games. All right. In the playoffs, Alabama wins the bowl games. They just do. And they usually win it by a couple of touchdowns plus. If Cincinnati's within 13, if Cincinnati beats the line in this game, it's a good performance. Only problem I have, and I've told you this a couple times, we're not going to go down this path here, but the only problem that I have with it, Zoe, is that if Cincinnati loses by 14, 13, 12 points, something like that, it's going to be a lot of people who from this point forward, for as long as the playoff is 4 teams, will not want to give any other group of 5 teams credit or the opportunity to go because they'll go, oh, Cincinnati got killed. Everybody else will too.
I would be,
as if Ohio State and Clemson haven't both also got killed.
I would be one of those people, even though I would win because I think it's an amazing story and I usually root for any team from Ohio. Cincinnati's going to get destroyed by Alabama because you know why? Because they don't belong. They don't.
Because
this is a feel-good story. You know,
condescending.
Again, I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that Cincinnati makes a game of it. I hope they win. I'm going to be rooting for them, but it's not going to happen.
So across from Cincinnati will be the Alabama Crimson Tide, who had to replace their starting quarterback, who is making the playoffs for New England, or at least it looks like he's got a good chance. Had to replace the Pittsburgh Steelers starting running back in Najee Harris. Had to replace the Heisman Trophy winner from last year, wide receiver Devontae Smith. Had to replace a guy who may even be better than Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle. And they're still the number 1 seed in the college football playoff. Now, Bama, of course, lost to Texas A&M. We know that. But then they rolled through 7 straight wins, including a beatdown of a team that most of us thought was untouchable this year in the Georgia Bulldogs, 41-24 in the SEC championship game. The problem for Bama was that there were some spots of inconsistency amidst the domination. If you're telling me that Ole Miss, that Mississippi State, that Auburn, who, by the way, lost to Houston yesterday in their bowl game, right? Auburn took Bama down to the line. It can be done. The problem is that getting into the playoffs for Nick Saban is like Clark Kent going into a phone booth. You know that the thing that's stepping out of the phone booth is not the same as the thing that went into it. And that's what Nick Saban is in the playoffs. I'm intrigued. Bama was beat by A&M. They were taken to the limit by the Mississippi teams. They were taken to the limit by the Auburn Tigers. It was not a cakewalk through every regular season game like it has been the last couple of years. They're not that same team, but they're still really good. The problem that Cincinnati has, and this is where you gotta consider the issue. The problem that the Bearcats have, Lonzo, I think across the starting 22, offense, defense, I think Cincinnati's good enough to win this game. The starting 22 are good enough to win this game. Close. 24-21, 27-24. The starting 22 are good enough to win this game. Problem is, very few teams send 22 out against Bama and have all 22 finish the game. It is going to be the most physical game Cincinnati's played all year long. If Cincinnati starts having depth become a factor, they lose. It's that simple. Desmond Ridler, Ahmad Gardner, Najee Sanders, Brian Cook, Jerome Ford, Kobe Bryant. Cincinnati has got a list of guys that would be Power 5 starters. All of these guys would be Power 5 starters if they were playing bigger schools. No, that's how they got here. Problem is, outside of that, they don't have a lot else. If Alabama plays its best game of the year, which was what they did against Georgia, they'll win this game by 2 touchdowns. Maybe not, maybe more. But if Alabama is anything but on their game, anything but perfect in this game, Cincinnati has the depth to knock this team off. They absolutely do. And if they can knock off Alabama, they can beat Georgia and they can beat Michigan too. Cincinnati is the longest odds to win a national championship. That's not going to shock anybody. What will shock you is that if Cincinnati can keep their guys at a nice pace in this game, control the tempo against Bama, which is not easy to do, right? My whole career, I've used the metaphor. Yeah. It's easy to stop a train. All you got to do is stand on the tracks and push hard enough, right? Problem is, it's not realistic. I don't think Cincinnati wins this game, ladies and gentlemen. I think Alabama wins this game, and I like the Vegas line of about 14. I'm not putting a dime on this game. I'm leaning Alabama to cover, but if they do, it'll be by a point or 2 tops. What I will say is, if Cincinnati controls the pace of this game, and Cincinnati can keep their starters on the field and not get banged up against a very physical Alabama team, their starting 22 is good enough to win this game. Everybody else next on the depth chart is not.
All right, I have a question for you. So if Cincinnati were to shock the world, beat Alabama, beat whoever wins and become national champion, how does that affect us getting a bigger playoff?
I would like to think, though I'm wrong like 3 times a year, I would like to think that it would encourage those in charge to look and go, oh, so there have been some teams left out that could get in. Because think about it. If Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma, they're in that game. There's about 3 teams, Notre Dame, they play a conference championship and win it, they're in this game. There's about 3 teams, 2, maybe 3 teams, that could have theoretically jumped Cincinnati on the last weekend of the year. That's why Cincinnati got bumped to 4. They would have gone to 5 if Oklahoma State would have won. Cincinnati be at home on New Year's Eve. I'd like to think that the committee would go, hey, would you look at that? Maybe there are some teams we left out that could have done it. Let's go to 8 so that, or 12, so that doesn't happen any further. But realistically, what I think the committee would say at that point, is, hey, see, when your games get in and you get a chance, everything works as is. We'll find out. Actually, we won't find out because Cincinnati's not going to win this game. All right. On the confidence meter, Alabama, I'm about 85% confident is going to win this game. I don't like the Vegas line. I'm sure Alabama's probably like plus 850 on the money line, which I would much rather take than against the spread of 13.5. Cincinnati's good. Alabama's good, and they have depth. That's the difference in this game. Give me the Crimson Tide. When we come back, we'll talk Georgia versus Michigan. Break that one down for you. Talk some Cheez-It Bowl as well. The Rob Brown Show is on the radio for the next 20 minutes and 18 seconds. Right here on ESPN Upstate.
Have you let Steph and Jim know that you're off tomorrow?
No, I have not. I should probably do that. I will get in touch with them right after the show.
So that they make sure that if you have any lives that they are scheduled.
Non-surgical regenerative treatments for joint pain. We're talking lasting results using natural biologics. No surgeries, no pain meds, no steroids, and no down. Treatments that actually encourage your body to heal itself using highly concentrated natural biologics. Patients are raving about it for hip pain relief, knee pain relief, shoulder and back pain relief. Don't let them keep giving you steroids, and don't let them tell you surgery is your only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics. Do it now and imagine life in 2022 without pain. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics now. 864-448-3772. 864-448-3772. That's 864-448-3772.
One of Beatrice's properties needs a new superintendent. Someone with handyman superpowers and a concierge alter ego. Indeed can help her hire great people fast. Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
With the Peloton bike, there's always something new to try. We're adding new music to our artist series, new disciplines like boxing.
Fight your way through. Let's make it count.
So many new workouts to try on and off the bike.
Let's go, Peloton family.
There's always something new to keep you motivated. For a limited time, get a $550 value on the Peloton bike club.
AW's Jim Ross announces he is cancer-free.
Yeah, I saw that.
Love it.
Welcome to Allstate, where your savings are always on the right track, and where we still love when those auto rates drop, because when they do, that's some really good energy. Love when the extra savings hit, don't you? Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands at Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today. Allstate and affiliates offer products and services subject to availability, terms, and conditions.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. This holiday,
Between December 29th, 2010 and December 29th, 2021, the Jacksonville Jaguars have a record of 46-130, which is a 25-point-something% win percentage.
Wow, what happened to all those number one picks? They went somewhere else and played well, probably.
Basically.
You have an Upstate Lights in the final break.
When the lights go up on the racetrack.
What?
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It's ESPN Upstate. Rob and Lonzo and you. Be a part of the show at 844-GSP ESPN Texas on the Ingles Market text line at 71307. 71307. Start your text with ESPN so that we can read them on the air. Let's talk Georgia taking on Michigan. Georgia versus Michigan is our nighttime semifinal game. This one is going to be going on later on in the evening. This one's going to kick off at 7:30, if I recall, Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We get that late night New Year's Eve. By the way, Move the playoff games off of New Year's Eve, please. Please move them off of New Year's Eve.
I'm fine with it because I don't drink.
Right.
So I'm good.
But I do, and so I'm not. All right?
I'm not criticizing, but New Year's Eve is a drinking holiday. That's what it is. I mean,
Right. Right.
It'd be over before midnight.
Yeah, and then
You'll be
only
good.
like an hour and a half of celebratory time before the
I'm just guessing. I mean, I don't know how this works really, but I kind of do that you can make up for that time.
I will.
Yeah, it's just-
I'm like a 5 a.m. New Year's Eve morning guy.
Okay.
Don't call me New Year's Day. I will be asleep. But like the whole day. Don't
The
call me
entire day?
the whole
Okay.
day.
You
Hopefully. Oh, that got me. Hopefully by the time I wake up, I won't I'll be over it. But we'll see. We'll see. Now I'm not going hard in the paint this New Year's Eve. Not going hard in the paint. Got a little football. Probably going to keep it low key, NYE.
say, I thought you were going to be at a concert. So
That's true. I am.
Yeah.
I
so-
realized I booked the concert and the game's on.
Well, this is a thing called DVR.
I was going to say, I'll be watching it at midnight.
Yeah, this is a
Well,
thing
you
called
losers
DVR.
are out at the bars. Georgia has not won a national championship since 1980. Came brutally close in 2017. But, of course, we all remember how that turned out. Michigan hasn't won one since 1997, and that was a split national championship with Nebraska. Michigan received 12 votes in the preseason AP Top 25 rankings. Georgia has won 6 of its last 8 bowl games, but the 2 they've lost have been big ones. They are 4-2 in bowl games under Kirby Smart. This one is kind of interesting to me because Georgia was the dominant force in college football the whole season till they came up against the best team they faced all year, which was Alabama. Michigan, on the other hand, lost to Michigan State, who turned out to be not as good as we thought they were. Not bad, not as good as we thought they were at the time, but then Michigan turned around and blasted Ohio State. All right, and got the best win that Michigan's had. The first win over Ohio State in what, Zoe? A decade, I think?
It had been a while, yes.
Yeah, a decade, I think, since the last time they beat the Buckeyes, and the majority of us thought the Buckeyes were heading to the playoffs, and now they are not. Nearly 300 yards of rushing offense for the Michigan Wolverines against Ohio State. Problem is, Georgia's strength is against the run on defense. They are a good run defense. You got to be able to move the ball around the field. Ran it for 211 against Iowa to finish as the Big Ten's #1 team on the ground. This O-line from Michigan is not the most glamorous. They don't get a lot of credit. You're not going to read a ton about them in the papers. That's an old man sentence, right? You're not going to read about them in the papers.
What is it with it? Because it's the end of the year, you're just starting to feel your age or something?
I am.
You're as young as you feel. I feel like I'm 22, so I don't stop it.
You're not gonna read about them in the papers. But
Now you sound like an old Jewish guy.
they block really good. Nope, sorry, really well. Had to grammar correct myself with staying
Hey,
character.
also, when you get older, they don't correct your English
Yeah, fair
anymore
enough.
because, there's.
Georgia's secondary was good throughout the year. Gave up 332 yards to Tennessee. Got ripped up by Bryce Young of Alabama for 421. The question mark here, Lonzo, is very simply, can Michigan throw the ball?
I think we got 2 different emotions from each team coming in. You got one team coming off of a big-time loss, thinking that they win is more important as far as momentum goes than the loss. I think Georgia is beat down. I'm going to do something that hurts. I'm going to do something that hurts.
Wait. Everybody listen.
I don't want to.
Everybody listen to this.
But I believe that Georgia is going to lose to that team up north. I think it's going to be a close game.
Michigan.
But yeah, that team. I think
say Michigan.
I think they're gonna win.
You okay, buddy?
I think the food poisoning's coming back.
Yeah, you need a minute to.
Yeah,
to
I
compose
might.
yourself?
I might.
Take a deep breath, drink some Sprite.
Maybe about
Make you feel better.
3-4 minutes, maybe.
Caden McNamara does not take a lot of chances. He's not a guy that's comfortable forcing the football, and I think you're going to have to make some stellar throws to win this game. I'm going the opposite. I'm going to go Georgia. I don't think Georgia can beat Alabama if they score off with Bama again. I think Bama will get them a second time. But I think Georgia can get by Michigan because I think Georgia's got more variety in the offense. Georgia can keep you off balance. The only question, because there's a question about both quarterbacks, right? K. McNamara doesn't take a lot of chances. He wants a safe, secure throw, and if there's not one, he'll tuck it and run against Georgia. That's going to be more difficult than against probably anybody else they've played. But on the flip side, Stetson Bennett IV is 5'5", not the prototype quarterback, and has made a mistake here and there.
By the way, real quick, if you believe in this sort of thing, the referees are going to be on Michigan's side. Why? Because the powers that be don't want to see Georgia versus Alabama in the national championship
I disagree
game.
with you entirely. I think they absolutely do. We've already gotten SEC rematches in the championship game because you don't have to like this. SEC money is the biggest money. SEC replays will get you more. You'll get more out of Bama, Georgia than you do anybody except maybe Cincinnati, Georgia.
Alabama, Michigan is the better matchup for the country because if Michigan doesn't go and you get Georgia,
I don't care. You're still going to get that money. I agree. I'd like to see Bama, Michigan. I've already seen Bama, Georgia, and Bama shellacked them. I don't need to see it again. Personally, I'd like Cincinnati, Michigan, if I'm being honest with you. I think
that would be an awesome matchup.
But I think you're going to get Alabama, Georgia. I think you're getting the rematch, and I don't think they care. It comes down to whose secondary plays better. Which secondary plays better? If Georgia's secondary can keep McNamara from having consistent open throws, Georgia wins. If Michigan's secondary can get coverage sacks, make Stetson Bennett force a few, get a couple of turnovers, Michigan wins. Give me Bama over Cincinnati. Give me Georgia over Michigan. We'll have the breakdown for you on Monday. Let's take a break and abbreviated Twitter trending topics to wrap it up on the Rob Brown Show. It's ESPN Upstate. The Upstate Holiday Light Show is on, ladies and gentlemen, and it's on right now. And all you got to do is go to upstatelights.com. If you go to upstatelights.com, check out upstatelights.com. You can get your tickets. You can get your fast pass to the Upstate Holiday Light Show. You got a couple more nights. It runs through New Year's Eve. It is the Upstate's favorite holiday tradition, and it will be your favorite holiday tradition as well. Ladies and gentlemen, pack up the kids, throw some blankets in the car, grab some hot chocolate, head on over and enjoy the Upstate's favorite holiday tradition. You'll find out why it is very quickly. 32 million lights lighting up the sky right now, dancing to the music of your favorite holiday classics. They've got the petting zoo, the small carnival rides for the kids. It is an incredible experience. You got 2 more days to enjoy the 2021 Upstate Holiday Light Show.
All right, be careful.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're trick shotting this.
Oh, we're missing horribly, but we're gonna give it a shot.
No, you got to go off the table. You got to get a little bit of a bounce. That might be good. Oh, you caught more wall than you wanted.
Bounce.
Caught more wall than you wanted. How do you do, fellow kids? Welcome in, Joey P.
He is a child. Speaking of old man, so I pull in today. I'm enjoying the song that I'm listening to, so I'm just sitting in the car, and someone pulls up beside me. They don't realize how hard it is to get in and out of that car. But it's especially hard when someone parks next to you. When they're what you doing, man?
But why though?
And I'm always waiting for someone to watch me as I get in my door, basically squat, do some limbo time. the real reason why it's so Hey, you're done for the week. You suck.
Not sure. I need to get some stuff done while I'm off.
Trying to decide. There's one certain thing that I want for my best of Saturday, and I can't find it. How much time am I willing to put into finding it when I could just grab something else?
You have an idea of where it is?
No.
No.
I found it before, and I can't remember how I found it before. I think I may have found it on Facebook, and then after I found it on Facebook, I went back and found it in the system here. That's probably what I'm going to have to do, but I'll just get all my other stuff done and then come back to it.
Dell's New Year event is here with up to $200 off on laptops with Intel Core processors. Check out the precision-crafted Dell XPS laptop with all the performance you need to unleash your creativity or game without limits with powerful Alienware PCs engineered for the ultimate gaming.
It's also weird that someone's not coming on after us.
Yeah.
I'm also concerned that with the problems we had last night, that when I push this button, that nothing's going to happen going into the next element. Will the game actually be there? I don't know. I hope so. I'll be sitting here a while.
Too many. It's time to go. And you think of pulling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license. You total your car. You kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
All right, final Twitter trending topic of the year, of the entire year of 2021. This is it. It's got to be.
Like what I used to definitely not illegally download music when I was in, I don't know, middle school.
Napster is trending.
Why?
Because T-Pain put something out about how much money he lost thanks to Napster. Napster. That's
yeah, I mean, listen, it absolutely
I never used
taking money out of the
Napster,
wallets of musicians.
by the way, because I couldn't, I didn't know how to do it.
I thought you were about to say you couldn't afford it. I was like, no, that's why
No,
everybody
it's-
used Napster.
I get that, but I felt like it was stealing from artists. And
You
yeah,
were.
so
You were,
and-
but I was also 9, so
and Lars told me not to do it. And when
when the drummer
from
Metallica
Metallica,
speaks.
yeah, and uses that weird voice that he has. You got to do it. Yeah, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for me for the year 2021. It has been an incredible year. I am so grateful to all of you. You guys let me do this as a job for some reason, but I sincerely appreciate all of you that have listened, that have texted, tweeted, emailed, called, participated throughout the year. You guys help make us the South Carolina Broadcasters Association Sports Talk Radio Show of the year. Yeah, I know I screwed that up. Get off.
Association.
We had a great time. It has been incredible. Lonzo, thank you for a phenomenal year. Looking forward to many more, sir. And to all of you out there in Radio Land, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. Be well. Have a great 2022. We'll see you on the other side on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. Later.